Thank you, Wendell, and welcome to tonight's edition of the Regional News. We start off with some good news where Caribbean hotel and tourism and health officials have unveiled a new initiative that will help safeguard the health of travelers and employers within the tourism sector. The COVID-19 Caribbean Tourism Task Force said the comprehensive health safety guidelines, supported by an aggressive training schedule, are aimed at reaching thousands of the region's tourism employees in the coming weeks and months. It said that the initial set of guidelines includes detailed checklists backed by health safety training for various tourism industry sectors, including ground transportation, accommodation providers, food and beverage, and attractions. General health and safety protocols have also been created and will be supported with training delivered by the Trinidad-based Caribbean Public Health Agency CARFA to a wide cross-section of employees and owners in the tourism industry. Meanwhile, Prime Minister of Grenada, Keith Mitchell, said the island will soon be reducing taxes on airline tickets as part of measures aimed at encouraging intra-regional travel with the Caribbean community, CARICOM. He said that this is being done as the government implements various strategies to encourage travel within the region. Speaking on the pending liquidation of the regional airline Liat, Mitchell said there are other airlines which will be filling the void left by Liat, which suspended its services in April after most regional states shut down airports as part of measures aimed at containing COVID-19. Also in Jamaica, the island has welcomed more than 35,000 visitors since the island reopened its borders on June 15. And now for some international news. Bans on international travel cannot stay in place indefinitely, and countries are going to have to do more to reduce the spread of the novel coronavirus within their borders, the World Health Organization said on Tuesday. A surge of infections has prompted countries to reimpose some travel restrictions in recent days, with Britain throwing the reopening of Europe's tourism industry into disarray by ordering a quarantine on travelers returning from Spain. Only with strict adherence to health measures, from wearing masks to avoiding crowds, would the world manage to beat the COVID-19 pandemic, the World Health Organization's director said at a virtual news briefing in Geneva. And I quote, "Where these measures are followed, cases go down. Where they are not, cases go up," end of quote, he said, praising Canada, China, Germany, and South Korea for controlling outbreaks. WHO Emergencies Program head Mike Ryan said it was impossible for countries to keep borders shut for the foreseeable future. And I quote, "It is going to be almost impossible for individual countries to keep their borders shut for the foreseeable future. Economies have to open up, people have to work, trade has to resume," end of quote, he said. And finally, nations in Asia imposed new restrictions on Monday, while an abrupt British quarantine on travelers from Spain through European summer reopening into disarray as the world confronted the prospect of a second wave of coronavirus infections. In the United States, still dealing with its first wave as infection rates have climbed since June, President Donald Trump's National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien became the most senior official to test positive. The White House said Trump had not interacted with him in days and was not at risk. Surges were reported in several countries that previously appeared to have the virus under control. Australia recorded a record daily rise. Vietnam was forcing tens of thousands of tourists to evacuate the central city. Mainland China, where the virus first emerged late last year, confirmed the most locally transmitted cases since early March. Hong Kong banned gatherings of more than 2 people, closed restaurant dining, and made face masks mandatory in public. A surge of new infections in Spain, another early epicenter of the pandemic, prompted Britain on Saturday to order all travelers from there to quarantine for 2 weeks, after doing months of preparation for Europe's reopening to tourism. The coronavirus curve is still rising in Brazil, with the number of cases and deaths showing no sign of slowing down. Brazil is still averaging around 1,000 new coronavirus deaths and 40,000 new cases per day. And that is it for our region news this evening, and I continue to urge our viewers to stay indoor, continue practicing social distancing, and wear those masks. Back to you, Wendell.